I'm standing here with Dale from Manchester, and you have something new you want to tell me about. Well, it's not that new, but tell me about it.
It's about 6 months new. Started in January. We are doing a live call-in show now called Prometheus Unchained, which addresses LGBT issues from a liberty perspective. And hopefully we'll recruit a lot of people to New Hampshire.
Well, for the uninitiated, LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, correct?
Yes.
And I guess you started 6 months ago, and to what extent are you finding that you're able to fill a niche that no one else is filling?
Oh, I think it's a badly needed niche in New Hampshire. I think there's a lot of people in that sort of spectrum who would be really receptive to the liberty message if it's given in the right way. I think me and the other hosts, I think we're well prepared to communicate that, sort of bridge the gap between like libertarian ideas and liberty and maybe more liberal ideas and things like that.
Well, it seems like as time goes by, the liberty movement is not that diverse, we don't have enough black folks in the movement, for instance, not enough Hispanic folks, but it does seem like we are doing well at outreaching and expanding into the gay community. Gay community is well represented in the liberty movement and in New Hampshire. Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't know. I think there's some good outreach happening. I think there's some people here, who have done a good job of reaching out to and getting the message out that libertarian ideas are good for the LGBT spectrum,
Yeah.
That it's really good for those issues.
Yeah. What's your main goal for the show?
I want to reach people who maybe are hearing about the liberty message for the first time, from this, hearing this perspective from the first time, who actually get new people moving into the liberty movement and getting it, and sort of dispelling notions of the liberty movement as being a right-wing movement, which is really a misconception. So I think that's probably the main goal for me. I really try to tailor my language and my message to people who are maybe new to liberty. Whereas when I'm on Free Talk Live, because I have co-hosted on that some, I feel like I'm speaking a different language because I'm speaking mostly to people who are there for a liberty message specifically.
Now there is, I would say, an element within this movement. Like I put up a video about the Big Gay Dance Party last year, and I've only once before, I think, ever put up a video that's gotten so many negative comments, from people who claim to be sort of liberty. Oh no, we can't have that gay thing going on. Oh my God, they're gay in this dance party. Well, some of them are.
Well, there are people in the movement who do identify, I think, more conservatively with a liberty bent. There's those people, and I think they are terribly concerned about certain people being turned off by that or something. But I think that's the key to liberty, is live and let live. And you gotta. I mean, variety is an important aspect of that. How do you have live and let live without respecting people who want different things than you or whatever? So I think it makes they need to calm down.
Do you find that you're able to calm down interacting with them?
I think so. I try to be. I do try to respect where they're coming from, and try to. I think a lot of this is everyone can get what they need out of the liberty movement, and there's nothing to fear.
That's interesting. You brought up the whole win-win concept on your own.
Yeah.
Which I was going to ask you about. Can you think of a way that the sort of gay-phobic liberty folk and the gay-ophile liberty folk, or folks who are in the gay community, how can they work things out so that they both win?
That's a good point. Actually, that's something that comes up a lot. Are people like asking, well, not a whole lot, but once or twice that people have called in and said, being concerned about bashing on religion or something like that. And that's something we are very careful to be really specific. If we're addressing someone, there are a lot of hateful things that come out of specific religious arguments, but I try as hard as I can to focus and say I am not talking about, I don't want to bad talk the Christian religion or the Muslim religion or anything just because of a specific person comes out and says something. I find people who have some kind of hateful attitude, they start with the hateful attitude and then they look to the religion to justify it. Right. And there's so many people that don't do that. I'm very careful every time something like that comes up to clarify, and I try to get my co-hosts and such to have a respectful attitude about that as well. Yeah, Derek joins us once a month right now, hopefully more in the future.
That's right, and we even had a difficult time today not bashing bashing Catholicism because there was a woman who was...
I can bash him for you.
She was looking to use the violence of the state rather than go up to her neighbor in her community and share what was on her mind with them. So I just see that as deplorable. Without,
okay, so what were you saying?
Well, yeah, that's just without mentioning that they're the they're the death cult, right? That drinks blood and eats other people's bodies.
Well, I think that's how some of the East Indians would look at it.
Well, yeah, the show for me has been mostly about entertainment and making sure that there's a medium where folks who are liberty-minded and gay can tune in and just have a good time, because isn't that what it's all about, just having a good time?
Yeah.
So we like to provide that content. I can speak for myself. We like to focus on keeping it fun.
The message will be lost if it's not entertaining first and foremost. If people don't tune in to be entertained, then the message is lost.
It's very high quality. I listened especially toward the beginning, and I like I said, I tapered off because it wasn't New Hampshire centric enough for me. But not everybody wants New Hampshire centric.
Yeah, well, so. And the other thing is, I get emails a lot from people that act really surprised that they enjoy the show because they're not LGBT.
Yeah.
You have straight people calling, you have people calling in or sending us emails saying, I was really surprised that I like the show so much, and they listen regularly. So it's reaching a pretty broad audience apparently, and I'm glad to hear that.
I just appreciate you guys getting out there and doing something.
Can I give you the URL real quick?
Oh yeah, I should have asked. I'm sorry.
You can go to PrometheusUnchained.com, but the easier one is FlamingFreedom.com.
FlamingFreedom.com. FlamingFreedom.com. Conk, 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 conk.
Flaming freedom.
We're at the free Ian protest. That's why everybody's honking. I guess they want Ian free.